Alright guys, so this is the video for the assignment alternate ending for all summer and a day. So the first thing you're going to do is watch a YouTube video, and it's a refresher on how to use quotation marks when using dialogue and writing. So you're just going to click here. It's going to take you to YouTube where you're going to watch this video. It's only 1 minute and 40 seconds long. It's not very long. It's not loading for me. Oh, there you go. So it just talks about using speech marks or quotation marks. So they're part of a sentence, right? And it says speech marks shouldn't be by themselves. They always come with, right? There's always a beginning and end of the sentence. I'm kind of going over it for you guys real quick. First speech mark opens a spoken sentence, and second speech mark closes it. For example, Harry said, "I love riding the roller coaster," right? Harry said, "I love riding the roller coaster." So what did he actually say? When I'm talking, I don't say, "Mr. Farina said," and then I say something, right? I wouldn't say, "Mr. Farina said, I love riding the roller coaster." I would have just said, "I love riding the roller coaster." So I put my quotation marks around "I love riding the roller coaster" because that's what he actually said, right? So like over here, we're going to put quotation marks here. And when you have your quotation marks, notice this green little comma. When it says like Harry said, you're going to put comma, quotation, and this next word should be capitalized. I is always capitalized, so that one was there already. So I remember it as the 3 C's, even though it isn't C's because comma is a C, quotation is a Q, but I remember it growing up as the 3 C's, comma, quote, capital. So it's just a C sound. So there's always a comma, quotation, capital when you have like Harry said, okay? Or John whispered, or Elizabeth whined, and then comma, quotation, capital, okay? And then remember, you have to end it after your period with a quotation mark as well. Another example, "You're my best friend," whispered Sally. So what did Sally actually say? She didn't say "whispered Sally," right? So she said, "You are my best friend." So that's what's going to have the quotations around it. All right, when two people are having a conversation, you need to make sure each time a new person talks, it's a new line. So you're going to press enter to start a new paragraph, basically. For example, "How are you today?" asked Jack. "I am having a really good day," replied Kelly. Jack asked, "Why?" "Mom just bought me a new kitten," exclaimed Kelly. Notice that every time someone else is talking, Jack talks first, right? And then Kelly replies, so then it's a new paragraph. You don't continue over here. You bring a new paragraph down. And then Jack talks again, so you bring a new paragraph down. So just pay attention to that. Make sure your quotation marks are around what they're actually saying. You have commas before, comma, quote, capital, right? And then afterwards, we have the comma here. Seemed off to me. I thought it would be in here. Okay. And then, yeah, it's usually inside of here. I feel like they did it backwards. Like this one, exclamation point, and then quotation mark. There we go. That's how we do quotation marks. So that's step 1. I went over the whole video, but you can watch it yourself as well. Next thing you can do is write what you think would have happened next in the story, or if the story all summer and a day had continued. So we left off where Margot gets trapped in the closet, right? They trap her in the closet. All the kids go out in the sun for 2 hours. She's stuck in the closet. She misses it. It starts raining, and that's when the kids remember, like, "Oh my gosh, we left Margot in the closet." So they run and they open the door and they let her out. So it actually says here, the story ends with, "They unlock the door even more slowly and let Margot out." So what happens next? What do you think would have happened next? That's what you're going to write about, okay? You're going to write at least 5 sentences, and you're going to use at least 2 pieces of dialogue. So 2 times where someone's talking, okay? It could be like Margot, like she walked in the room and Margot shouted, "I hate you," something like that. Something realistic. Who knows what would happen? It's your story. So there's no right or wrong answers. So you guys can be as creative as you want. So once you click here, it'll take you to the actual assignment. It'll look like this. And this is the instructions kind of again. It talks about everything I just said. Write a minimum of 5 sentences and use 2 pieces of dialogue. Remember, when characters talk, you need to start a new paragraph. So let's say I'm writing one. I would say like, "They unlocked the door even more slowly and let Margot out." I would say maybe, "Margot's face was red and full of wetness," right? She was obviously crying. And then I would say something like, "How could you do this to me?" Margot whispered to her classmates. William looked down at his feet and refused to make eye contact. Right? So I'm writing my own story, right? I can keep going and keep going. I already did what? 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences? And I could keep going, right? I could probably write a whole page here because this is a great story. It's a great story to continue. So that's what I started with. But you guys can do your own paragraph. What happens next, right? Maybe she's extremely mad. Maybe she's, dead on the floor. Who knows? Right? They open the door and let her out, and Margot's hands are full of blood because she's been banging on the door. It could be anything you guys want to write. So that's what you're doing for this assignment. Okay? If you have any questions, make sure you ask. Again, to get full credit on it, you need to have 5 sentences, and it has to have a minimum of 5 sentences. It could be more. You can write 10 sentences, 20 sentences. I would say don't write more than a page. That's not what I'm trying to make you guys do unless you're really into it. And make sure there's 2 pieces of dialogue. That's how you guys get full credit. If there's no dialogue, you're not going to get the full credit. You'll get points. You just won't get them all. All right, so that is our assignment for the alternate ending.